And the New York Knicks take another loss, ladies and gentlemen. They're 120-105. They lost to the Toronto Raptors. And, there's a lot of storylines to talk about. A lot of things to discuss here. I don't know. I'm going to just go ahead and get to it with the group we got here so we can break it down and talk about it. We got in the panel? We got Steph. We got Uncle Fulio. We got Savvy. We got Cornerstone Kev. And I'm going to start with Cornerstone since his name is Cornerstone Kev. Because, every new player is a cornerstone for this team.
Mm-hmm. So and all the cornerstones was out there.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. All the cornerstones was out there, Kev. What's up?
Save me, Uncle Fulio.
All this cornerstones, Kev. Talk to me.
You're on your own, Kev.
Well, first off, Happy New Year to...
Nah, no Happy New Year. No Happy New Year. Talk to me. Don't try to... You said that already.
Don't bother me up.
Nah, man. I'm at a loss for words right now because I know I was one of those people that said play the kids. Even though saying that I don't want Randall totally out of the equation. Everybody wants to trade Randall. I don't. But I don't think that, and when I mean kids, I got to really clarify. I wanted the rookies to play. I mean, my kids are already playing in OB, IQ, of course RJ, and of course Mitch. So I wanted to see more of my rookies, and what I'm pleasantly reminded is that they are getting run.
Or unpleasantly?
Both.
Okay.
Both. That they are getting into the system, just probably not the way we want to see them as. But again, I'm reminded that playoff teams are not run by all rookies. And that's something that us as Knicks fans have got to understand. I think tonight, the moment, I won't say it was too big, but for McBride and not Simpson even play. Grimes. Yeah, Grimes. I think Grimes has got a little bit of a handle. I think it was the moment was probably a little bit too big for McBride now, because we've seen in 2 games that he started that he's not that dude that I saw, that was busting it up in the G League and was, taking no prisoners when he was coming off the bench.
Okay, can I jump in right there? I don't think it's that the moment is too big. I don't think that's the case.
Then it's confidence. Then maybe
it's not the confidence either. It's the fact that it's the fact that when you take a certain level of player, and right now they're at a certain level, right? They haven't elevated to be, where you would like them to be, to maybe be starters in this league one day. They haven't elevated there yet. So when you start to put extra pressure on them, that's when the seams start to crack, right? Because when you can take a Grimes or McBride and put them in a game, and you have Randall and RJ and Fournier and Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker, they can shine because there's no pressure on them because all the attention is diverted elsewhere.
Yeah,
so
but
they
when
can
that
shine.
happens,
but when the attention is now diverted to them and they start to get a little bit more attention, now the holes in their game start to show because they're rookies. So it's not an indictment on them.
No, it's not an indictment, but we know the narrative. We know the narrative that's going to happen for the guys that you named to be put in, and if it doesn't go well, the narrative is going to be that, oh, well, we should have had the kids in there.
That's the wrong narrative. That's what he's trying to say.
And I'm agreeing with you totally. I'm agreeing with you, totally with that. Again, it took me a while to really understand that. I'm understanding it now, but you're right.
He's understanding it now. Ladies and gentlemen, all the parents out there, this is a very good lesson for you. Sometimes your children, you're going to tell them things. I try to tell Cornerstone Kev plenty of times, but sometimes you're going to tell them things and they got to learn through experience. Kev just had to learn through experience. Don't mean to put you out there like that, Cornerstone.
Yes, you did. You threw me under the bus. I feel that Greyhound.
He's calling you his son.
I feel like Greyhound, riding over me. It's not even a 14-wheeler. It's a Greyhound. It's rolling right over, my head and everything. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I want the kids out there, but I just want them, limited. I just want them to succeed. That's all.
Right. Yeah, and they will in due time. But, right now there's a lot more attention being diverted to them than what they probably expected, coming into the season. Right. Looking at the matchups today, I mean, listen, I never thought we were going to win this game. I was hoping we were going to be a little bit more competitive than this. And there were times when we were competitive, but bottom line is we were just overmatched. We were just overmatched in this game, and there wasn't going to be much that we could do to really, really compete and put a scare to Toronto in this game today. You know what I'm saying? Steph, any thoughts on the game?
No, I mean, I think we covered it in the pregame. Basically, what we expected happened. I was expecting to see a bit more energy as well. I don't know if it was, not having fans in the seats or what, but the energy was definitely lacking. And, they looked all right. I don't think we talk about IQ enough. I think IQ is getting a huge pass this season.
I think you're probably right, because this is a situation where, you hope that IQ is able to step up and, give you the type, at least the type of the production that he was giving you last year. And I don't know if he really is, to be honest with you. I mean, it's been 2 games right now since, everyone's been out. Right. And what did he do today? Manuel quickly, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, played 27 minutes. Now, you're hoping that IQ can give you a little bit more than that. I mean, again, he is a young guy that's, having a little bit more attention diverted to him as well. But, I agree, though. You know what I mean? Because IQ, right now, all of the attention is on Fournier and Randall and Kemba, a little bit on RJ, and, not really much on IQ. Right. Yeah, so I definitely agree with you. Josh, any thoughts?
Yes, and Happy New Year, Steph, Savvy, Cornerstone, and MBK fam out there. I mean, it's just, the Shorty narrative is one by one. This whole play the kids narrative, like the kids were already playing and they were productive in the minutes that they were playing, just because, they were outplaying the starters, but you can't replace them and put them in that type of role where they're starting and they're getting 30 to 40 minutes a game and expect that same type of production throughout the course of the game. It's just not going to happen. The youngest teams in the NBA, who everyone wants to play the kids, the youngest teams in the NBA are lottery teams. 5 out of the 6 youngest teams in the NBA are in the lottery. So, that's not where I want this team to be. That's not an improvement for me. I want to see this team compete. And I think that's what the front office, that's why they brought in some of these veterans, Fournier and Kemba, so that we can actually compete. And quite frankly, the Knicks still are competing for a playoff spot. And we're not completely out of it, right? We're only a few games behind, I think, the 6th spot or whatever. So there's still a chance for us to make the playoffs. Let's get everybody back healthy. And one last thing, the Knicks are not a better team without Julius Randle. Period. Point blank. They need this current team needs Julius Randle out there, right? I get it. He's not playing his best basketball, but he's still averaging 19 and 10, and he's still a threat out there on the floor. And I think everyone in that Knicks locker room understands that and realizes that. So please, with these 2 narratives about playing the kids, the Knicks being better without Julius Randle, please just get rid of those, because we're not going to be a successful team if you continue to think that.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that, because there are a lot of people that say, well, the brand of basketball looks better because they're moving the ball more. Newsflash, my friends, they're moving the basketball because nobody can score. All right, so they got to pass the basketball to get an open shot. It's not because they don't have somebody that wants to dominate the ball or something like that. They don't have the players to do it. So the ball moves until you get an open shot. You know what I'm saying? Which, listen, that's good basketball. I'm not going to say it's not. That's good basketball. The problem is you get to a point in every game when you need somebody to create a shot for you. You need somebody to suck in the defense. You need somebody to anchor. To suck in the defense, and you need somebody to anchor the offense. There comes a time on every team that you need that. There's very few teams that have a player that can go one-on-one plus an offense that really moves. You look at the Golden State Warriors, right? They have an offense that is just free-flowing, can move, boom, 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 boom. And then you still got a guy that can, and Steph Curry, that can really divert all the attention. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of teams that have that. And obviously, we don't have that. So the reason why you're seeing that ball move like this is because we don't have a guy out there right now that can crack the defense. So we've got to use a team aspect to try to crack the defense. And that being said, we still only ended up with 22 assists tonight. And it's not like we shot really, really bad. We shot 45% from the field and 33% from the three-point line. And we still only ended up with 22 assists. Right? So it's people don't like, they say the game looks ugly, this and that. It's about results. So you can move the ball all you want. You can move the ball until the grass turns blue. But it's about results. If you don't get results, then it don't matter. You know what I mean? Now, when Randall comes back, do we need a better version of Randall? We need a way better version of Randall. We do need a version of Randall that will get the ball out of his hands faster so it doesn't stick as much. Right? We need a version of Randall who doesn't look tired and defeated when he's on the floor. And maybe he was tired and defeated at a certain point in the season for whatever is going on. We need a Randall that has that pop. We need a Randall that is not thinking about when to shoot or where to shoot. We need a Randall that's making quick decisions. We need all of that. Doesn't mean that we don't need him, though. You know what I mean? Savvy?
It's good, Knicks family. How y'all doing?
I'm doing all right.
I'm glad because that one, whoo boy, that was hard to watch. But I think this, right? I like to try to avoid the extremes, I can tell you that who we have in our starting lineup, maybe with the exception being Julius Randle, it's probably not enough for the ambitions that we have for this team, right? I didn't like the signings that we made in the offseason, but I'm not going to labor that point. And I did want to see the kids play, but the circumstances under which they are playing cannot be ignored either. We didn't have several of our fives out there. Noel's been hurt for a while. Mitch could have helped us tonight, absolutely. Taj will be Taj at all times, but putting too much upon his plate will undoubtedly, lead to shortcomings. Jericho Sims, his energy and youth and his strength could have been used tonight. We had no answer for Pascal Siakam. What I think is this, right? The perfect storm for this team would be a combination of playing the veteran players in the roles that we need them to play, with a lion's share of the minutes at their positions, while still finding key moments and time and playing time for the youth on the team to be able to get in, sharpen their swords, get their lumps, because you got to get your lumps, which is why I feel like tonight's nights like this and that last game will pay off in the long run development-wise. But a learning experience is a learning experience. I think that going between these extremes where they're only playing in small pockets with a short leash and then being thrusted into being the ones that need to get it done or bust is not a good way to assess what we have in those young guys.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
You feel me? Like we need to be able to mitigate the margin of error in our assessment by taking these factors into consideration so that we can make informed decisions going forward, because I do hope that we make at least a couple trades. And I'm not one of those guys that's going to say, I want to keep all the young guys on this team. We could pitch Fournier and bundle somebody else with him to sweeten the deal. Maybe take somebody who's, hogging some cap space and could help us. There's trouble in paradise on some rosters out there with some young guys that could probably offer a bit of competition to the role players that we have in our youth movement. But what I took from tonight is that we have guys who can specialize in certain things, but have not had enough time to diversify what they can do, and in their versatility, give us some consistency that we can depend on night in and night out.
Yeah.
And it happened against a far superior team that would give us trouble with our starting lineup.
Right. Exactly. I agree
Does
with you
48
100%.
fit this team? Does 48 fit this team?
Muted, Steph.
You muted, Steph.
28 did have 20 tonight, so it's not like he had 6 points. He did, he did have 20.
Yeah. 48 had, so I'll go through the box score. He had 20 points, but I tell you what, I'm looking at the box score. He got zeros all the way across the board besides that 20. No rebounds, no assists, no steals. He does have one turnover and 2 personal fouls. That's.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a G-rated version of what I said on Twitter as soon as the game ended. This is why I always say we can't read basketball, because if you look at the box score, it looked like at some point during the game tonight we had something going on, when really we had nothing going on the entire night, and we're horrible.
Yeah, 20 points for Evan Fournier. That's it. R.J. Barrett, 19 points. 4 rebounds.
Obi had 13.
3 assists. Obi Toppin, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Quentin Grimes had 13 points and 2 assists. Alec Burks had 11 points. But when you look at the Toronto Raptors, they had some guys scoring as well. Fred VanVleet, he went to town on us tonight or today.
Can anybody get in his grill, please? Can anybody get in his grill?
No.
That's what I was hoping McBride would be able to do, but he couldn't even get in his grill. How did he get these
McBride, Grimes? No, we needed D-Rose on that man tonight, and he's been hurt for a long time.
See, this is
somebody said something in the
Why is he so special?
Hold up.
Why is VanVleet so special?
No, Kev, it's
He's
not.
good.
Hold on, but it's not about him being special. It has to do with this. Tom Thibodeau talked about this last season on why he doesn't like to play rookies that much, and some things that we've been trying to argue with you and other people about for a while.
What?
Defensively, you can be a very good defender. You can go one-on-one, this, that, and the third. But see, veterans in the league know the tricks to the trade. And rookie defenders don't know those tricks yet.
Right.
So when you got guys like Fred VanVleet, they can use that against you. Now, in the second half, Miles McBride didn't play much. Right? So now he was doing it against Quickly. Right? Because Burks went out early. So now he was doing it against Quickly. But still, Quickly is only in his second year. This is what Tom Thibodeau was talking about. Like these veterans, they understand, okay, he's going when I shift this way, he's going for it. Right? When I take a strong pound here, I'm going to take the side step because I'm probably going to freeze him with that strong pound with the left hand and then side step to the right and pull up. Because they're rookies and they got to get used to those things. They're young. They got to get used to the way how things are played in the NBA and fighting off screens and tougher screens and guys releasing the ball a little bit quicker than they did in college and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's where a big adjustment comes in on the defensive side. Can you have guys who play really good one-on-one defense? Yes. But when you really start to get playing against these better players and guys that guys that have advanced skill sets, and understand the small nuances of the game, it becomes tough for him.
And Sim, not only that, but a lot of these bench guys that are now getting major minutes are now playing against starters.
Exactly.
Before they were playing against opposing teams' bench players. So it looks a little bit, again, all this stuff takes time, like Sim was saying. Like, they may look good against the bench players, but once you start going up against those starters, it's a whole different ballgame, and they obviously don't look the same. Not taking anything away from them, they just need to learn. They need more time to learn.
That's
Josh,
it.
You know who we needed? We needed Ron Baker. Because he played with
No, you know who we needed? No, Cornerstone. Hey, Cornerstone, you know who we needed? We needed Elfrid Payton.
He played with Van
How
Fleet
about
at
that?
Wichita State, so there you go.
No, you needed Elfrid Payton to play defense on these guys, Cornerstone, Kev.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Thibodeau liked them out there. And I don't care if people get mad at me. So what? I don't care. Fred VanVleet had 35 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. Pascal Siakam had 20 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists.
He was doing damage.
Yeah.
Literally.
OG Anunoby.
Pascal.
In the first couple of minutes, he was trying to muscle RJ Barrett in the first couple of minutes of the game. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds. Chris Boucher had 12 points, 4 rebounds. Scotty Barnes, 13 points and 4 rebounds.
He's gonna be a player. He's gonna be a player.
Is
the jury still out on him, or what do you?
No, I think everybody's known from the beginning of the season that he was going to be a player. And I'm just joking about Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton wasn't going to, make us win this basketball game. I'm just joking, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't going to make us win this basketball game. You know what I mean? But this is where we are, man. This is where we are.
I know.
This is where we are.
You gotta laugh sometimes. You gotta laugh. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna laugh more. So. Okay.
Yeah. Steph, we talked a lot about RJ, whether or not he wants to take over the basketball game. And I think we've seen it today. He was a little bit tentative, it seemed like. And then Tom Thibodeau got upset with him for, I guess, not taking a shot or whatever it was, or not being aggressive and going to the cup. And then we started to see him go to the cup and play aggressive. Right. Do you think he got the message?
He got the message, Sam, but how many times does Tibbs have to, tell him during the game? So, yeah, he got the message. He definitely played better after that. I don't know. I get it that this is just his 3rd year, but I would just like to see him have a aggressive approach to the game, period. But, yeah, he did get the message after that.
Yeah. Do you think it's just his mentality, or do you think it is, because he's been playing with Julius? Julius has the ball in his hands, and so he's kind of used to being, waiting for the ball to be swung to him, or waiting and picking his moments to attack, right? So now he's got to, really change the way he's thinking, dude.
It could be that. It could be that, Sim, him trying to find his place in the offense. Now you bring in Kemba. Now you bring in Fournier. So it could be some of that. That being said, you look at Anunoby. He's averaging almost 20 points a game on a team with Van Vliet, Siakam,
Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes. So, it could be both. It could be that's his style. Remember, RJ came up playing, international ball, playing for the Canadian national team. So maybe that has influenced him a lot as well, because they play a different type of, different basketball. So it could be that, and it could be also him just trying to find his place with all these other guys who dominate the ball.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, like, talking about now with these last 2 games. Well, he did it a little bit yesterday, but is he just having a hard time changing his thinking? Because he's
you mean with them out?
Yeah,
yes.
with them out, because he's used to playing second fiddle. Is he having a hard time changing his thinking, or, what?
He's having a hard time changing his thinking. I think his base thinking is, I'm going to take what comes to me. And I think it's just hard for him to come out of that mode when there's space for him to do so. That's just how he plays the game.
Yeah. And what's tough is because Obi Toppin, he's got the same type of thinking. I think it's hard, and I don't know if he even has the skill set to do so, but I think it's hard for him to come out of that mold and thinking, hey, I got to score the basketball. I got to do something, so he's just waiting for that game to come to him. And when you're playing against tougher defenses, you're playing against starting units, it becomes a little bit tougher to get those easy lobs to the basket. Because the defense doesn't break down as much as the second unit's defense breaks down. There's a reason why those guys are the second unit. They have some holes in their game as well. You don't get those easy defensive breakdowns or guys jumping out, having the ability to jump out on the break. You've seen, I think it was IQ try to lob it to Obi on a broken play, and that was, tipped away that quick.
Right.
And that came after that play actually came after Obi passed up a layup to try to get it to either IQ or RJ cutting down the lane. And I was like, just shoot it. You're right there. Yep. You can jump over whoever's in front of you. You're right there. Why are you passing that up? And these guys are going to have to learn how to break that mold of thinking to be effective with this lineup.
That's what Siakam was doing to us. He was in the lane. He was just putting it up. That's what Siakam was doing towards us.
We ain't had nothing for that boy tonight.
In regards to RJ Barrett, these last 2 games, he had really solid basketball games from a production standpoint.
Yep.
20 points and all that. Really, really solid games. But the difference is, and I'll constantly say this, I think not only his mentality is a little bit affected because Randall's not there.
As well.
That as well, Kev, but I think his game itself is limited. His game is very, very limited. RJ Barrett doesn't have one piece of his offensive game that you can depend on and say, okay, this is my go-to move. I'm going to go with this. He does not have that yet. He still needs to develop that. That's something he still can learn how to do. But to me, nothing in RJ Barrett's game right now screams star. I don't see star potential. I think he'll be a really good player in this league for a very, very long time. But I just don't see, because his limitations offensively, and now with this whole mentality thing, I don't see star yet. I have yet to see that. And I was hoping that that's what the type of effort, or not effort, but the type of player that we were going to get with RJ Barrett now that Randall's out. But I just don't see him being that guy. And it's kind of knock against him. He played solid games these last 2 games, but he's just not that dude for me. I'm sorry.
And I got to agree with Josh. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I got to agree with him, because what I was looking for RJ with these, especially in this game right here, I was looking for him to take the bull by the horns and put the team on his back and just say, you're going to feed off of me. And it took a tongue lashing from Tibbs in order to wake him up. And he should have been woke up, at the beginning of the game. I mean, he should have demanded the ball, wherever, and just try to go to town, because we've seen flashes of him, having excellence, and this was the perfect time. With Randall being out, this is the perfect time.
Okay, so let me say one thing about those flashes, right? Mm-hmm. Flashes is what you get when there's no consistency in how you're meant to be utilized from a game plan standpoint. When it's thrust upon you in dire situations like this, right? Some players can just step right up and just give you everything and be like, yo, I'm that guy, I'm ready right now. And I don't think RJ is ready right now, but I think he'd be closer to being ready right now if we had put him in the role that he needed to be in when we got him.
Savvy.
That doesn't mean that
skill set.
Let me ask you what you just said. Totally agree with you. So, but with that means that Randall couldn't be here, right or wrong?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So, Savvy, here's where I disagree with you, and I see what you're getting at, right? The team needs to cater to RJ. I think this team, this Knicks organization.
That's not. No.
Oh, but you said that. We need to. Hold on. You said that the team needs to, put him in a position or have that game plan night in and night out for RJ Barrett to be able to do what he needs to do. And what I'm saying to you is I disagree with that, because if you're a baller, if you got it, you got it. And RJ Barrett right now don't got it. He has no. Not everybody. His game is extremely limited. Extremely limited. His finishing at the rim needs a lot of work. Exactly. His finishing at the rim needs a lot of work. His jump shot needs a lot of work still, right? And he can't really do
shot
anything
creation
on the floor.
as well.
Shot creation. Cannot shot create at all, and I don't see that. Now, you may banking on him to be that in the future. He very well might be. But as of right now, there's so many young players around the league that have that, right? That have that in their games right now. Whether the team is building around them or not, there's so many players that have that.
But they're not Knicks.
Guys don't have that. Huh?
But they're not Knicks.
What does that
They're
mean?
on other teams. We have RJ. I'm not worried about other players. We have RJ. I'm not going to look at, well, why can't you be like that guy? If we wanted him to be like that guy, we should have gotten that guy in the draft instead. We had the third pick and we took RJ.
But that's not what we're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, the only guy I've seen his draft.
Wait a minute. Let me specify what I meant by what I said earlier, right? We've had him play the 2. We've had him play the 3. Okay? I never, ever thought he should be the 3.
He was doing some of that last season, though. Last season, he was doing that depending on the matchup.
Wait a minute. Let him finish.
Hey, Kevin,
I'm not saying the team needs to cater to a rookie after we draft him. I don't care if you're the first pick, the 10th pick, the 15th pick. Look at what Tyler Hero's doing right now. He's coming off the bench for the Heat, and he's doing great things. But that's not because he's being catered to or not being catered to. It's because when he is on the floor, he's being utilized the way he is supposed to be utilized, because they understand this is your game. This is what you're going to do for us. We're not going to take you out of your game to do something else, whether we play you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, start you or bring you off the bench.
What's his game, Savvy?
Yeah.
What we try to do is we take guys and we try to bend them to our will to fit what we want them to be. That's never the way that we should go about it. RJ's game is to...
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you talk.
RJ's game is to, 1, play good defense. Is to drive the basketball.
Which he can do.
Is to dunk on guys' heads when he has the mismatch and take advantage of his speed and strength. Everything else is for him to develop. That's all he did. And when he was at Duke, he played more of a role facilitation-wise. And I think that we've seen some pretty good capability and potential in his ability to facilitate, despite that not translating to a lot of points in terms of assists because other guys can't make shots or what have you. But aside from a few ugly-looking passes and errant balls that went out of bounds that led to turnovers, I've seen a pretty capable facilitator on the offense and a guy who, for some time now, we've given key defensive assignments to when we see a guy on the other team who is a mismatch for a veteran player like Evan Fournier, who loved that signing in the offseason.
Unfortunately, me.
But can I just answer you, Savvy?
Thank you very much.
Everything you said about
let's
RJ,
not play around here.
Everything you said about RJ, and that this is his game. There's nothing that's preventing him from doing that on this team. There's nothing preventing him from playing good defense. There's nothing preventing him from using his, I don't know about speed, but at least his strength to take advantage of the defender. And there's nothing that's getting in the way of him dunking over people, except the fact that he can't dunk over people because he's just limited athletically. So everything you said is his game right now. There's nothing that we need to do different for him to be able to do that. The number one thing I'll say about RJ that you missed, in my opinion, is his ability to catch and shoot. Catch and shoot the 3 when he's playing off of people. To me, he does that better than anything right now. His percentages is down a little bit this year.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's a natural catch and shooter. There's nothing preventing him from playing defense. You're right. I would say what prevents him from taking physical advantage of his assignments is having him at the 3 and not the 2, right? If he was more of a natural catch and shooter, he probably would be playing at the 2. But because of his limited ability to hit shots from good range, I think that plays a role in why we have him playing the wing more often than not. And I don't think that's necessarily the best scenario for him to showcase his skill set. And I would say that even though I prefer Randall to be able to take advantage of those lanes that he shares with RJ, I think RJ doesn't get enough time with the shot clock remaining in a lot of scenarios for him to really get into his game. He doesn't really
think he
create
gets touches as much as Randall or Fournier or him.
Let me jump in there, Kev, because I gotta disagree.
Go ahead and jump.
I definitely RJ gets his touches.
But not as much as Randall or Fournier.
Well, he's not going to get it as much as Randall. I think he gets it more than Fournier.
No, I disagree.
Touches or shots, Kev? Touches or shots?
Both.
I think it's important to distinguish one thing, right? If you pass me the ball and there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, that's not the same as me getting the ball with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Okay. I think we need to examine the timeliness of these touches, right? We don't need Randall to necessarily bring the ball up the court much. I would rather see RJ bringing the ball up in those scenarios than see Randall bringing the ball up and see him facilitate for Randall.
Do you know how many points Randall could get if he's in the low post, not having to bring the ball up?
Hold on, wait, don't change it. Don't change it.
Right. Hold on. I'll stand by what I said then. He doesn't get the ball as much as Randall or Fournier.
He's not supposed to.
He's not supposed to.
Because Evan Fournier can shoot.
Wait. But what you and Steph were saying about his game, how's he supposed to do that if he's getting the ball less?
Kev, he gets the ball a lot. His usage, he has a 24. He has a
Go ahead, Uncle Fulio.
He has a 24% usage rate. Julius Randle has a 27% usage rate on the team. RJ Barrett gets his touches. And I think he's second on the team in shots, but at 14 shots a game. So he gets his shots and he gets his touches. Let's not act like RJ Barrett hasn't been given an opportunity to succeed.
Evan Fournier has a 21% usage rate.
Yes. Right. Yes.
I mean, listen, if we want to, go ahead, Josh.
No, I'm just saying, RJ Barrett has had ample opportunities to take over.
Thing. Less touches when you include Kemba as well. So there you go.
But hold up, but see, this is the thing. 24. Right, his usage rate is second on the team. Julius Randle 27, RJ Barrett 24, Kemba Walker's at a 22% usage rate. Evan Fournier 21% usage rate. Let's not talk about Mitch because you know his usage rate is nowhere near that. So he's getting his touches.
He's hardly getting the ball at all.
And that should be high action.
RJ Barrett is second on the team usage rate. That's the thing. RJ Barrett does not.
RJ's skill set is when he's down below. When he's dribbling and it's got his back turned, getting his shot off the
right.
Yeah.
Right. So just whatever skill set you just mentioned isn't good enough. RJ needs to have the ability to get the ball, preferably in the mid-range, I believe, for RJ, being able to jab step, pound dribble, sidestep right, sidestep left, step back, right, go to the cup. He doesn't have these things. His footwork is not that good yet. It's not to say that he can't develop it, but it's not there right now. And it's not something that you can see, in my opinion, that's straight up natural for him to do. If you look at it, you look at a guy like Melo that came in the league, all of that stuff was already there. Then he defined the rest of his game. So RJ's going to have to work a little bit harder to build those type of skill sets. And I seen someone say, "Oh, he was getting triple doubles when he was in college." So what? That's college. I could care less.
That's irrelevant.
That's not the NBA.
Right.
It's not the NBA. There's plenty of players that were doing a lot of things in college and came in the NBA and did zilch. And we're talking about people who were player of the year in college and came into the NBA and did nothing.
I think the best argument for RJ is
going with that one.
I think the best argument for RJ is what Sim said. He still has time.
He still got time.
That's the best argument for all the RJ fans is to just lean on he still has time. But if you're talking about right now, his skill set is
right. His skill set ain't there. He's got time to develop, He
got time.
And I see a lot of people that talk about we just got to get rid of him, this and that. I don't agree with that. I believe, unless you're trading for someone that's, it's just a slam dunk, obviously anyone you're going to trade if it's a slam dunk trade for your team. But I believe you let him play out through his contract.
Sometimes
see where he develops. Hold on, let me finish, Cap. See where he develops. Right? Let him play through his contract. Look at him. Look. See, hey, Savvy.
No, I just said.
Hey, Savvy. Look, you see, when a father talks to his kid.
I said some fans are just so fickle. That was all.
Hey, Savvy. You see when a father. You see when a father talks to his kid and the kid mumbles under his breath. Right.
Right. Okay.
Hey,
all right. Okay.
Say it again. Excuse me.
But
wait there, young man.
I mean, I think with RJ, you got to give him the time. Let him play out his rookie contract and then assess where he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if a trade comes, you're gonna make that move. But you let him play out his rookie contract, assess where he is. And figure out where does he fit within your team. Is he a role player on your team? Is he a guy that you think can be an all-star? I don't think you just throw him out and say, forget it, he's done, he's trash.
No way.
Yeah, you don't do that.
But
I think there's an expectation set for RJ that doesn't really match his strengths, and we've seen examples of that just now in this debate. I see RJ as a cerebral, physically dominant player. I don't see him as a fine-tuned, skilled player. I think the skills need to be sharpened and developed over time. Mm-hmm. And he's a cerebral guy who can make good decisions, who can put pressure on his defender, and when he needs to force the issue and get to the line. Although he can't knock down the free throw shot, which is why it confused me when he was in the mid-range open and shot from the free throw line when he hadn't been making them. I was like, you was better off trying to lay it up or do something else. But people want him to catch and shoot. That'd be beautiful. He did that well for a while, but I don't think that's going to be his thing going forward, or at least not now. I'll see him as a shooter, period.
So you agree with Josh? Basically, what you're saying
is Josh doesn't listen to what I'm saying because he hates RJ. So Josh never going to understand what I'm doing.
I don't think he hates RJ.
Josh wants him off the team.
But basically, what you're saying is he's not going to be that guy.
He won't want him off the team.
Hold on.
But basically, what you're saying is he's not that guy either, because everything you just talked about is not, somebody who's that guy.
But when I say that he can be that guy, I mean he can be a go-to guy to do what he does well. Like, for example, DeMar DeRozan for a long time was not shooting the ball very well. He became a fantastic shooter, right? But for a while there, he was a physical guy who could beat you to the rim and put you on a poster, right? And play penetration and get to the line when he needed to, and so on and so forth. I think if we let him play a more cerebral role, making more decisions for the offense and using his physical dominance to get points and to create scenarios for others, I think that's the best way we could use him.
I like how a minute ago he said those other players were on other teams, but now in order to prove his argument, he's saying that if RJ was like a DeRozan and more cerebral, we can do this and that. Sim, you got a super cat that you didn't read.
I'm talking about archetypes of players when I do that. You're talking about we should have him instead. And I'm like, no, you can't take expectations of one player and put them on another one. But I can use another player's archetype to describe the type of skills.
RJ was a number 3 draft pick. So we're just talking about other young players around the league who were drafted 1, 2, top 5.
But that's our fault. That's our fault, though. That's not
we drafted him number 3.
Yeah, it's our pick.
So you're saying what are you saying? It's our point that he's not developing like the others are developing. It's our fault we drafted him in the first place at that position.
I think bad player development falls on the team. I think who you take when it's your turn to pick is your decision. Yeah, he didn't say, "Hey, draft me at number 3." We was like, we want this kid. John Moran wasn't there, so we was like, we want this guy, and we took him.
So now and Van Fleet and Inoue and all these other dudes, would they be as good on our team as they are with Toronto?
Yes.
Listen, y'all taking this argument away.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Big shout out to Try B Ryan. Thank you for the super chat. He said, when I said play the kids, I didn't mean seeing a junior varsity game. Well, that's what we're seeing right now. You know what I mean? We are seeing a junior varsity game, and big shout out to Trav B. If you haven't seen, you need to go follow him on Twitter. He just put out a dope song about the Knicks. If I get a chance to get it downloaded, if it's okay with him, I'll play it. It's pretty dope. You guys will enjoy it. Just a little 40 seconds.
I got a dope song too.
I don't want to hear that song. I don't want to hear that song. It's not dope. I don't want to hear that song.
Are you rapping now?
At all. We play Indiana next, right?
Ooh.
Indiana's our next game. They're dealing with some COVID issues as well.
They got Miles Turner. It don't matter.
Right? I don't know.
They got size on us.
They got some size on us, yeah, but I don't know what their who's in health and safety protocols right now, but they're dealing with some too.
Sam, what's
Malcolm
the new
Brogdon,
rule?
I think, might be out.
What's the rule now with the safety protocols for how long you have to be out?
I think maybe if you're asymptomatic, 6 days or something like that.
Okay, so Sim should be back then, right?
It all depends on his health.
Yeah.
Well, no, not Sims. I'm sorry, not him. I meant New Orleans because New Orleans was out first.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on his health. I mean, looking right now, Kiefer Sykes tonight for the Indiana Pacers. Kiefer Sykes started at point guard. Dwayne Washington started at shooting guard. Domantas Sabonis at center. Miles Turner at power forward. And Justin Holiday at small forward. So, they got some guys out as well.
Justin Holiday.
They got some guys out as well. So, who knows? It's hard to know right now the way things are in the NBA, game to game, who's going to be playing and who's not going to be playing.
It's spooky out here.
It's just hard to know. Let me get to a phone call here. Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
Hey, my name is Zahim. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, say that again. I lost you for a second.
I'm sorry. My name is Zahim. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
What's going on, Zahim?
How you doing, Sim?
Hey, how y'all doing today? Happy New Year to y'all.
Happy New Year's to you, man. How you doing?
New Year.
Yeah, man. Back to what y'all was saying about RJ. I just feel like, his game, it just needs a lot of work. And I feel like he should watch a lot of, James Harden tapes. He's not the most athletic guy, but he has moves, to get to the rim, finish. He finishes well. He has a good three-point game, good little mid-range. I feel like Barry just needs...
Every time you fall, I need some consistency at least from you.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
It's cool.
Wasn't me this time.
That was me. Go ahead, man. You were talking about RJ.
Yeah, I just feel like he needs a lot of work. He still needs a lot of work. And also, what y'all was saying about IQ, I think he's having a down year. To me, it looks like he didn't get better. I don't know. And his shot selection is sometimes horrible. And I feel like in all season, he should work with a guy like Steph Curry, on footwork, or coming off the screens, I just feel like we need a lot. This team needs a lot. And also, if I was the Knicks, I know you guys said RJ needs time, but if I could get a Brandon Ingram or something, because that would be dope for the Knicks, because we don't have no one that can score the ball, like that can get their own shot. Our team is mostly role players. We have a role player team. That's how I feel about our team.
I mean, we have role players on the team. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem.
Kemba is not supposed to be a role player. Julius Randle is not supposed to be a role player. Evan Fournier is still kind of up in the air. Is he supposed to be a role player or not? But
Tell you what he ain't.
Yeah, Fournier.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, Zahim, how tall are you?
Me, I'm only 5'10". I'm a point guard.
Hey, still make a phone call. The Knicks need your help, buddy.
We need a lot of help.
You're a sick
We need a coach. We need a lot. You're
not happy with the coach?
Who, Ted?
Yeah.
No, I'm not really I know last year we did good with him, but I feel like it's the same thing. Everywhere he goes, the first year we do good, then it's like, I don't know. Then it's like they just fall off the team. And I feel like the team, like I feel like we need like a young guy that's, develop the guys, that listen to the young guys, that knows. I think Tibbs stuck back in the old era. He's stubborn. Like his rotation just sucks. Like today, he made a smart move. Like he noticed that we need a healthy. Put Burks in early. He finally did something right today. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he has hope on his side, but he don't use it.
Yeah. All right. Hey, my man, I appreciate your time, bro. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Speaking of Michael Jordan, okay.
Let me get you another
Where
call.
was his antennas tonight?
Caller, you're live. Tell me your name and where you're from, please.
What's going on, Sim? This is Red Giants from the BX.
Reg, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling?
I'm good. Everything's good. How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Pretty good.
We're trying to figure out our way through this, through this time period. That's what we're trying to do.
Sad.
Yeah. I called yesterday, and I kind of had that feeling that once a lot of these young kids start to get playing time, we're going to start to see that we don't have a Scotty Barnes. But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing is that I think just throwing them in the fire the way that we playing them, RJ, Grimes, Obi, IQ, I think what they're doing is they're getting a lot of experience. I think that they're going to get a lot better. But I don't want people to think that we can play the kids. We got to play Julius Randle, Kemba, Rose. We got to play the vets with the kids. The kids they really can't do nothing productive by themselves. As you see right now, they put up 80 points through 4 quarters. They need actual established players, people who can command double teams, people who can actually have game plans. RJ, he's good, but if you game plan him, he's not going to be the same RJ. He's not going to be like I see. I forget the gentleman's name right there, Savvy maybe. I apologize if I'm messing your name up, Savvy.
Perfect.
But I see him. He's an RJ fan. But at the end of the day, right now on RJ's development, you can't throw RJ the ball and let RJ just run offense. He doesn't have the ball handling. He doesn't demand a double team. He doesn't have a jump shot. He doesn't have a mid-range. He's not going to have the defense scared. He's not going to allow to make other players better because all his game is get the ball, put his head down, drive to the basket. That's pretty much all he does.
I agree with that.
He runs around the pick. He runs around the pick, and he goes to try to get his basket. If anybody decides to cut that left hand off, as you see, he really don't know where else to go. Now that's when the turnovers come into play. That's when Tibbs get angry and upset. Because now he's questioning, okay, what can I do now? How can I affect the game? My jump shot's not falling. He's it seems like his confidence in his shot is not there. That's why he's like, I got to use my size. But it's going to take development for him to get his entire game together. That's why I said the other day it's going to take years for these kids to get themselves right. Because no one's coming into the league with an established game. That's just not who these kids are. Grimes, he's a catch and shoot player. It's going to take him a long time to get the confidence to put the ball on the floor and drive to the hole. McBride, you see, took him right out the game because he's like, listen, I can't keep allowing this kid to hold the ball and he's not affecting the offense. He's not affecting like putting guys in a position so that they can be successful. He's a great defender, and if we had Julius Randle who could take a double team and kick it out to him, he would be way more effective. But at the point right now, we need a little bit more dynamic. That's why he kept Quickly in there. That's why he kept Burks in there. So all I'm saying is, as much as we're looking at this and we like, man, these guys are horrible. I don't think they're horrible. I just think what they are is they're players who need to really affect their roles, and then we need a Julius Randle to play way better. We need him to understand you need to be the guy that's going to command a double team and the post, kick it out, let these kids play within their space. They don't need to play the entire court. Let them play within their quarter of the court.
Right.
So that Grimes could play within that 3 feet and he could shoot a jump shot. IQ could play within that 3 feet. He could do what he do and get his floaters and his jump shot. We don't have kids who could command the whole court. That's why Kemba got to be nice. D-Rose got to be nice. Randall got to be nice. And that's what we're seeing. I hope that's what Tibbs is seeing. We need these guys to play with the young boys, and Tibbs needs to play 11, 12-man rotation. He needs to let these boys go 20 to 30 minutes a game, running hard, pushing the tempo, running people off the court, using the kids' athleticism, their youth, using the older guys, their skill sets. And that's the only way we're going to be good. Other than that, we're going to look like trash every game.
Question,
that's what I was calling in to say. Because yesterday I said they're going to get exposed, which they are. But now we see we need all of them to look like a team. Because we don't have the young kids like Scotty Barnes or Shea Alexander or John Morant. We don't have not one of them. But together,
they need you to lace up,
they look
Reg.
way better.
They need you to lace up, Reg. And I agree with you. RJ is not ready. It's premature. You know, if he was gonna do it now, he should have been sharpening them blades all along, right? So I think, you know, if we can get a legitimate, bona fide small forward, I'd probably like to see him back at the 2 or coming off the bench at the 2. If we find a legitimate starting 2 guard, which I don't think we have right now, either.
All right.
Hey,
And
caller.
to be fair to Randall, wait.
I think RJ's going to be the same player at the 2 or at the 3. I don't care what position he is. He looks like a 2 or a 3. I don't even know what he's playing right now, the 2 or the 3. That's just who he's going to be. If he at the 2, he's going to look the same. He's going to be slow. If he at the 3, he's going to be slow.
Yeah.
That's just who he is.
Exactly. Yes.
Maybe, yeah, sure, but
That's just who he is.
Not
He
to
looks
label
the
the
same
point.
player from last year to this year. I don't see no difference. He was at the 2 last year. He looked the same. He looked the same way. Slow.
I thought he looked a little bit better last year, but I'm not gonna label the point.
Because he was catching
What I
and
will
shooting.
say
That's all he
is-
did. He kept catching and shoot. I didn't see him drive to the basket really last year like a good two guards. Catch and shoot.
Well,
He's
that's
not
only
hitting the
because we
shot.
blocked those memories out because he wasn't finishing at the rim.
Last year or this year, he wasn't finishing at the rim.
Hey,
Yeah,
caller.
He's just the same player.
he trades off
Yeah,
performance.
caller, let me ask you a question. Do you think Tibbs is the right coach for us?
I don't think Tibbs is ever going to do an 11 or 12-man rotation. So I don't believe he's the right coach for what we need to do right now. I think Tibbs is the type of coach that he needs to have players. And then once he has those players, then he's able to let them play their games. Tibbs he doesn't want to come up with an adjustment in the game like, okay, well, RJ is off, let's put Grimes in there 3 minutes into the quarter. He wants RJ to play 8 minutes before he get him out of there. Now, RJ could look back for 8 straight minutes before you really get him out of there. I don't know why he does it, but that's what he does. So I don't think for what we need right now, Tibbs is who we need, but I think Tibbs is a great coach. But he needs players. He's a veteran coach. He needs players.
Exactly.
He's not good for what's going on right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
as you see, he doesn't know how to adjust to it.
Nah, I agree with you 100%. Hey, Reg, I appreciate your
100%
time,
on that
man. Love
last
your
one.
insight. Love your insight.
Reg.
Appreciate your time, bro.
Y'all take care. Y'all
Take care.
Take care, man.
I don't think it's fair to Randall. I don't think it's fair to Julius Randle, honestly, because sometimes he's out there by himself, and I'm like, people can't flourish in an environment like that where they gotta do it all to a certain extent. We haven't had a consistently reliable point guard for a long time. If you're not gonna count Alfred Payton, we haven't had a consistently reliable point guard for a long time. And just that one position being filled could change a lot of things for us.
Yeah, no doubt. Big shout out to Draft B Ryan. He says, Sim, you can definitely post the rap. Love the show. Also, we miss Randall's rebounding and gravity tonight. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's
what's
no
gravity?
doubt about that. Gravity.
What does he mean by
Drawing. And
when I say,
drawing
an anchor who's holding down the offense,
Oh, okay.
that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, people before I get to this song, people talk about how, when the young guys are in, the ball is moving left to right, left to right, left to right. Unfortunately, the rim is downhill. Right? So we can move it and swing it around the perimeter, but, the rim ain't at the three-point line or the top of the key. You got to go downhill to get to the rim. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is Trav B. Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out.
Stop overthinking and just do your thing. Shoot it off the dribble and you'll do some things. Poor decision making is your downfall. Stop making me nervous every time you fall. I need some consistency at least from you. Keep shooting, don't let nobody take threes from you. Stay ready, OG, you the next man up. Relentless with the D, yeah, keep that up. Your shot selection sometimes is out of order. I hate to see you go because your shot is water. Put some super glue up on your fingertips. You better come back soon because I'm sick of this. You just need some post moves and you good. Keep on jumping like that cause no one else could. Be aggressive even if the shot's falling off. And keep the guy in if he going off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there was Trav B. Ryan. That's a dope joint. I really like that joint right there.
On point.
Creative and dope.
On point.
And on
That was tight.
Yeah, creative and on point, man. And think, he was speaking to Tibbs at the end. You know what I'm saying? He said, leave him in. The shot's going.
Put some glue on your fingertips. That's what he.
Let's listen to Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Thibodeau in the post-game show.
You had talked earlier about, going small and you'd hope just speed things up a little. And it looked like maybe that didn't come through right away. Just kind of what you saw early on from that group.
Well, just going into the game, when you're shorthanded, your margin of error is small. And so where we wanted the focus to be is on the defense, the rebounding, and keeping turnovers down. And I thought the big thing was the rebounding. So we were badly out-rebounded, and then they do a good job of coming after the ball, so you got to trust the pass. And when we did that, I thought we got really good shots, and when we didn't, we turned it over, and that's that's a problem. So, but overall, I thought some guys stepped up and played good, but you're shorthanded, margin of error is small, and we didn't get it done.
Brett Katz.
Hey Tom, pulled McBride about 5 minutes in, and then you replaced him with Burks for the start of the second half. Was curious what went into that decision.
Yeah, just the way the game was going, felt we probably needed a little more offense to try to get things going, and so we went back and forth with that before the game, and then we knew we were going to have to mix and match. We were hoping to find some rhythm with one group, and we never really got there.
Herman?
Yeah, it looked like Van Vliet really took off in that third quarter with Miles on the bench. I mean, what was the problem with containing Van Vliet?
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. So that's he's a tough cover. He's gonna make you pay for mistakes, and he did. And some of them were challenged well, but other ones weren't. And like I said, the big thing is you can't give them easy buckets. So we gave them points off our turnovers. We gave them second shots, and when you do that, they're going to get into a rhythm. And so like I said, your margin error is small, but you got to play with great intensity. And if our defense and our rebounding is good, you're going to have a chance.
Steve Popper.
Hey Tom, when you're shorthanded like this, without Julius, and the point guards who are such a big part of what you guys do you need somebody to make it easier for the young guys who are playing, starting their first games? Does somebody like RJ have to step forward more?
No, the thing is when you get down players, and that's part of this league, is the guys that are stepping in You just get in there and play to your strengths. You don't replace Julius or Kemba or Derek, with an individual. You have to do it collectively as a team. So everyone's capable of playing great defense. Everyone's capable of rebounding the ball. I mean, that's commitment. That's blocking out. And they're big. They're long and they're athletic. So if you're not making contact, they're going to get to the ball. And so we talked about that before the game. There were times we did it well, other times we didn't, and that's where we have to develop the consistency. But we have to have the belief that we can win with everyone who's on this roster is capable of playing well. And so get in there and get the job done. That's it. And if we defend and we rebound and keep our turnovers down, we're in position to win. And then then you need to make shots down the stretch. But and like I said, there were some good things. There were some really good sequences that we had. We just didn't have enough of them.
Mark Berman.
Tom, Julius is taking a lot of heat on social media, and now you don't have him for 2 games, and the team really struggles. Does it show how much of a cog he really is to you guys?
He's a terrific player, and the thing is, it's and that's the day, it's the day and age of social media, and that's what social media is. You try not to pay attention to it because it's really meaningless. Whether it's praise or criticism, doesn't really matter. It's really what matters is what we think. And so we know how important it is, but it's like the backup quarterback. Everyone thinks the backup should start until he has to start. And so, hey, Julius is a terrific player. Derek's terrific. Kemba's terrific. But guys are going to miss games, and when they do, there's terrific players on our bench. Get in there and get the job done.
Ian O'Connor.
Tom, I know your team's been through a lot, and as a coach, you're really primarily focused on the next game in front of you. But after 37 games, do you have any concern about where the team is overall in the big picture, even postseason context, or is it too early to worry about that at this point?
Well, I always have concerns. No matter what, I have concerns. So, but it doesn't change my approach, and that's, as a head coach, that's what you have to think about everything every day. So. I worry about our offense. I worry about our defense. I worry about our rebounding. I worry about our injuries. I worry about who's out with COVID. I worry about everything. So that being said, the guys that we do have available, we're capable, and we can get this done.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Oh, wow. There were a couple of good questions there.
Man, Mark Berman, man. Oh, God. I detest him at times. I really do. I really do.
But he asked a good question. I thought that was a good question.
That last one, I'm like, yo.
You mean about Randall? About Randall?
Yeah.
He's
always trying to stir stuff up, man. I'm so glad RJ got at him last year. Why always being so negative? He's a most negative person.
But is it not true? Is it not true that social media gets on Julius Randle?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
and he's right. It is meaningless, whether it's praise or criticism. I like that. Keep that same energy. And I'm a big fan of Fred Katz. Shout out to Fred Katz. You know what I'm saying? Great on Twitter, great in the media room too.
Yeah.
But to say that these guys don't read it, they do.
Well, of course.
You know they do.
But the message from the coach has to be, don't worry about that. Only worry about what I'm talking about. That's what it has to be.
Yeah, but how many?
My favorite media response from last year, aside, like the RJ wanted second place because that was during the playoffs. Like, yeah, we're gonna be belligerently positive right now because we're in the midst of this battle right now. My first favorite was Upward Payton. They asked him, "What do you think about all the criticism?" He says, "I don't care about none of y'all," and he was right.
Yeah,
not supposed to care.
Yeah,
keep on talking. Actually, I was saying keep on getting up with Matt because he'll get mad and go bully guys inside the paint the next night.
Yeah, listen, and the question comes because you got people like this, right? Hulk TV. He said, Randall's ego is sky high seeing the Knicks are worse without him. You know what? Do you really think Randall wants the Knicks to lose all these games right now? No. That makes the job that much harder when he gets back and that much more pressure on him when he gets back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know,
I just wish Derek
you accept
was
it.
okay, man.
You accept it. You know what I'm saying? You know, as a player, as coaches, this and that, you accept it because you know that's what it is, especially nowadays.
That's why being a celebrity is rough.
You know, I guess in the social media sense, but you know, if they got money, it ain't that rough.
True that.
Let's hear Obi Toppin. This is Obi Toppin at today's post-game press conference.
Okay.
Connor. You there?
Yeah, he is. No.
We'll try Fred Katz.
What's up, Obi?
How you doing?
Good. Same to you. That was the most minutes you've played. It was tied for a career high in points. It was a career high in assists. I know it came at a loss, but is that at all meaningful to you?
I mean, yeah, it means something, but like obviously the loss sucks, but we just gonna learn from this game and get better for the upcoming games coming up.
Steve Popper.
Hey, Obi. Tom was just talking about, you know, what Julius gives you guys, you know, with the attention he gets on the court when he's out there. Just kind of what you see without him, and do you guys as a group need to step forward? Is there one player who does it?
I mean, everybody just has to step forward. Like when people go down, the next man has to step up. Like everybody that's here is a great player. They got here for a reason. So like we have a couple guys out, and there's some new guys who never played together for real that's starting to play together, and we just gotta find that spark and find that connection and ride on from there. So
Berman.
Yeah, Obi, Mark Berman, the atmosphere without fans, you haven't played like that for a little bit. What was it like?
I mean, we played a whole season last year other than playoffs with no fans. So it was just like last year. Like we had to build our own energy with the guys that we had, but it was definitely a lot quieter. We were able to hear each other a little bit more, and like but yeah, it was the same as last year.
Connor.
Yeah, my apologies, Greg. Obi, you mentioned that you just have to find that spark and that connection, and you guys certainly did that last spring. But after 37 games, are you getting a little concerned that you might be running out of time to establish that as a team?
I mean, like I said, like we don't have all of our guys. Like we have guys who started that like Miles. He never really played a lot with the starters, so he has to find a rhythm. He has to find a connection with them. Like me being in the starting lineup, this is my first start. It's a lot of guys who's out, and a lot of new guys who's starting to play a lot more. And all I'm saying is, like, we have to find a way to play with each other, and just be consistent. So,
Fred Katz.
Yeah, Obi, on that note, you played a lot of five tonight. What did you make of those minutes, and what are you trying to do when in a pinch you kind of have to play that way?
I mean, whatever coach needs me to do, I'm willing to do. Whether that's play the 4 or the 5. When I'm out there, like I'm gonna give it all I got. Like run the floor. I know what I got to do. Run the floor, roll hard. I know with my athleticism, me rolling hard is going to draw people in and get other people open shots. So I know the little things that I have to do that's gonna help the team. So,
Steve Popper.
Hey, LB, I know you talked about the other day being your first time starting. Now that you did it again today, did it feel different? Did you feel like you got into the whatever, the energy and stuff quicker?
I mean, it felt the same. I felt like, all of us, like we came with a little bit more energy than we did the OKC game. So we took a step there, but like we lost, but we gonna learn from this game and get better for the next.
Thanks, Obi.
Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Obi Toppin. Showing his youthful energy out there. I mean, listen, I appreciate
Obi remind me of a bunch of the dudes I went to high school with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that he, he's loving being in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that fact.
Yeah.
He loves doing that. I'm obviously he wants to win, but he's gonna be one of those guys that smile a lot. So get used to it, ladies and gentlemen. Get used to it.
He was smiling when you was hard on him last year. So there you go.
Yeah. Anything you heard from Tibbs or Obi there that strikes you, or you want to comment about Steph? I'll start with you.
Can't hear you.
When Obi said that he knows that him, running the floor creates opportunities for the rest of his team. I was impressed by that, that he's not just running up and down the court. Like, he understands what that does, and he understands how that opens things up for other players, which gives you some inkling into the fact that he's thinking the game as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure coaches probably pointed that out to him as well.
Right. Josh, what about you?
Yeah, Obi is just a very coachable player. A lot of people, say that he's not a Tibbs kind of player, and the front office shows them and Tibbs didn't. But I think that's not the case. I think Tibbs really likes Obi Toppin because he's very coachable.
First of all,
it's spreading the vid, man.
There are no germs, no nothing. All right, I haven't coughed. I'm just clearing my throat. That was all.
Kev,
so
check this out, Kev.
It's been going on for like a month, Kev.
Yeah. So, Kev, check this out. Check this out. You know how you ask, why does Tom Thibodeau have a short leash with Obi? You know how you ask that question? Why does Tom Thibodeau have a short leash with Obi or some of these young guys, this and that? Because he asked them to do one thing, and they continue to do the opposite time and time again.
That was all. I just cleared my throat. A man can't clear his throat.
Just hit the mute button.
Really?
Just hit the mute button. You can clear your throat all you want.
Hey, yo, DJ Cool, relax, all right?
That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Josh. Please finish.
No, I guess Obi Toppin's a very coachable player. I really like the fact that he's definitely developing. He's learning under Tibbs. And let's see if he can continue to get better. Obviously, he's not going to replace Julius Randle's production, but he's definitely learning out there. And I think he's going to continue to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, and I think nobody should expect him to replace Julius Randle's production. I think a lot of people were hoping that he was going to come in and all of a sudden, bam, he was giving you 18 and 10 in these two games. He did give you 19 points tonight. Right. But I don't think anyone should expect them to. I think they should, the game has to be a little bit different. And they should play the game a little bit different. I don't know who it was yesterday or maybe in the game preview when we were talking about Obi and the way that he plays and saying, not sure if Tom Thibodeau is going to adjust, his entire game for just a couple of games. But I think if you want to unlock what Obi is doing and let him, let his skill set and what he does benefit the team, you do have to add a few different things out there. And maybe he should start IQ because him and Obi have that connection. To see if you can, get Obi going a little bit more and more involved in the offense from that aspect. But I think that's what coaching is. You got to figure out, okay, for these next few games, what can I do to get Obi going because we need to get his production, RJ going, and so on. Instead of just, this is what we do, this is how we're going to do it. I think you do got to figure out ways to get these guys going. in the system a little bit. Kev, any thoughts about Obi or Tibbs?
No, not really. Yeah, hey, put it this way. Obi wasn't like Fournier. Obi wasn't like Obi wasn't like Fournier a month ago when he was talking about getting food poisoning from eating steak. So you remember that?
Yeah, right.
We was just rolling on that one. But no, I'll agree with Steph. Obi is real mature as for a second year player as far as his demeanor. No, everything was cool with those guys. It is what it is. We're just missing our front line. That's all.
Yeah.
Missing our front line.
Yeah, I know. Savvy?
Oh, I have one more thing. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I think Thibodeau is in a scenario where he can actually learn some things about the guys that he doesn't really play as much, even though he sees them playing, practice, and everything like that. Seeing what causes them to lose their composure in the game and maybe deviate from what the game plan might be at any given time will probably be good, because I do think that he's been really effective in sending certain messages, especially in terms of the defensive commitment, right? Yesterday we said, I said, I don't know if anybody agreed with what I said, but I was like, we need to lead into the game with a strong defensive commitment and allow that to create our opportunities on offense. And I think that some of the best plays that we had in this game, you know, the behind the back pass from RJ to Obi and others were created off of, you know, just that same mind frame. So I understood him subbing out McBride when he did. I did think that Quentin Grimes could have came in the game sooner after being subbed out initially when IQ was just getting shredded and not really giving us much in return on offense. But, you know, guess what? Another first-year play, right? So, you know, and we've seen IQ be able to play defense and improve at it. I don't think he's a Grimes-level defender, but I think we're just in a predicament where we don't have a lot of resting time to go around for a lot of guys, and sometimes that's going to happen. You're going to bring a guy in when the fans think that he should have been in sooner, and you probably kept one guy in longer because you thought his shot was going to get going, and then his shot didn't get going.
Right.
Couldn't mitigate the damage. You bring in another guy who should be able to shoot but plays better defense, and then he kind of didn't really have the opportunity or the ability to get things going for himself. And it's kind of a perfect storm coaching-wise for him to rewire certain rotations, and for us to sit down, for him and the front office, and decide on the direction that we want to go trade-wise, and how we want to look at this future, because we need to see who's buying in and running his program the way he wants to run it, and anybody who can't get with it or refuses to get with it needs to get gone.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
It also didn't help with tonight's game. I think Van Fleet was like the shortest player on their team. Everybody else was like, I don't know how tall they were, but it was sickening.
I mean,
tall, short, they did it to us, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, they played small. Yeah, but they played small. I think Pascal Siakam played center, and he's like 6'8".
Yeah, but still, it seems like they have long arms too. And,
Alec Burks got away on the fast break and went to go lay it up, and Scotty Barnes came up from behind and sent that weak stuff out out.
Yeah.
But he was on beat, sure.
And they were up 25. And they were up 25 at the time. He still wasn't letting them score. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna get up. Oh, go ahead, Kev. Last question, because I'm gonna get up.
No, that's a Savvy. What's the temperature down there?
Oh, it's warm. It's like high 70s. to the 80s. You know, we had a little cold snap briefly, but yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
and what was the cold? And what was the cold snap? What was how cold was that?
Probably got to 55 at the coldest.
It's like, 2 nights. It's like 60 to 65 degrees here right now, but we're expecting a snowstorm tomorrow.
I'm jealous, man. Listen, I'll play with you.
It's fine. I'm with that.
Okay, I don't know exactly what that means, but okay. I mean, you can up and move down there if you want to, Kev. Talk about. I mean,
Kev takes 7 vacations down here a year. I don't know what he's
what are you talking about.
I don't know what you are talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I see you on the shoot around tomorrow. We'll see if the Knicks can maybe we get lucky and be able to pull out a win against Indiana so we can stay in this thing. That's what we got to do. We just got to stay in it.
I still think Josh is wrong. So
and we got to find a way to stay in it until we get healthy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna end with I guess I'll end with B Trav. We'll end with both of them. We'll end with B Trav, then we'll go to the outro, whatever it is. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Stop overthinking and just do your thing. Shoot it off the dribble and you'll do some things. Poor decision making is your downfall. Stop making me nervous every time you fall. I need some consistency at least from you. Keep shooting, don't let nobody take threes from you. Stay ready, OG, you the next man up. Relentless with the D, yeah, keep that up. Your shot selection sometimes is out of order. I hate to see you go because your shot is water. Put some super glue up on your fingertips. You better come back soon because I'm sick of this. You just need some post moves and you good. Keep on jumping like that cause no one else could. Be aggressive even if the shot's falling off. And keep the guy in if he going off. Yeah.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.